Hello, and welcome to our online course, Building Green Skills for Circular Economy. Today, we will be talking about building the circular food system. First, let me remind you about the structure of our course. In the first module, we are focusing on how to maintain products and use them longer. And in this topic, we are focusing on circular fashion and building circular food system. In the following modules, we will cover the topics such as sharing products, repairing products, reusing products, recycling, and upcycling. So let's talk about food. Few things have as much influence on our lives as food. Food is deeply rooted in culture, tradition, and identity. However, food has a very profound impact on our health and well-being at every stage of our life. And it has also a very big influence on local and national economy and on the environment. There is a huge problem in our current food system, because the food system is responsible for 1/3 of global greenhouse gas emissions resulting from human activity, and also the same food system that we use to feed ourselves is responsible for 1/3 of all the waste that is produced globally. And of course, we are trying to find the solution to that. And we already start realizing that recycling is not a good solution. Because what is recycling? It is a process of converting waste into reusable material. But in the face of our current environmental challenges, recycling won't be enough to overcome the huge amount of waste we produce. Therefore, we are turning to circular economy that aims to prevent waste and pollution from being created in the first place. How can we do it? How can we do it in relation to food? How can we support a circular food system? Well, first of all, we need to shift our diet towards more healthy and sustainable products. Of course, we need to eliminate avoidable food loss and waste instead of recycling it. And if recycling is unavoidable, then we have to make sure that this recyclable waste goes back into productive users. Let's have a more detailed look at the circular food system. It consists of several main principles. First, diverse ingredients increase biodiversity and resilience. Second, if we shift from animal products to lower impact plant alternative, it will reduce our footprint. Then we can use smart planning and technology to avoid food waste. And finally, by buying locally from responsible farmers, we can reduce carbon impact and increase biodiversity. So why diverse ingredients are important? Well, diverse ingredients are coming from a broad range of plant and animal species, as well as varieties within those species. For example, today, just a small selection of potato varieties are consumed. However, a lot of diverse varieties exist globally. We just don't see them on our supermarket shelves. And the same is true for production of other ingredients, such as sweeteners. Rather than using just 3 crops, sugar beet, sugarcane, and corn, to produce the majority of sweeteners, we could have used greater variety of crops for the same purpose. But why is it important to shift to diverse ingredients? First of all, local cultural culinary traditions are built around these diverse local ingredients. And besides, using more diverse ingredients increases biodiversity. A variety of food types benefit one another when grown together. And finally, but very, very importantly, diversity enhances the resilience of the food system against threats such as pests, diseases, and environmental shocks. The second principle is shifting towards healthy and sustainable diets. Different types of food generate different amount of greenhouse gas emissions. So if you look at the diagram that has been studied and resulted from the research of Ellen MacArthur Foundation, you can notice that despite only representing just 5% of the whole food, meat is responsible for almost 1/3 of consumption-based emissions. And while vegetables and fruit make up a relatively large proportion, almost 22% of all the food that we eat, they have a very low consumption-based emissions. So why not try to eat more vegetables and less meat? This also has health benefits. Did you know that calves generally are taken away from their mothers 1 or 3 days after being born, and they are usually being slaughtered? And female calves become dairy cows themselves, and they are consistently being inseminated, and they die not after 15 or 20 years, which is a normal lifespan of a cow, but after 4 or 6 years. So in many countries like the Netherlands, cow milk consumption is a norm because the dairy products are national symbols and bedrock of the national export industry. However, cow milk can be easily replaced with plant-based milk, which has both environmental and health benefits. The question is, are we ready to switch? And the third very important principle of a circular food system is avoiding food loss and waste. Now, how can we do that? Well, the rules are pretty simple. Don't buy too much. Think twice before throwing food away. Maybe even make something tasty out of your leftovers. Always make a shopping list. Don't buy too much. Store the food correctly. Make a weekly menu and use some ancient but very efficient preservation methods. Yeah, if you don't want any hassle, you just freeze your extras because it doesn't really need you to work hard. There is another type of food-related product. This is packaging. Well, packaging is important because it defines the length of our product's shelf life. The material and design of a package have a strong environmental impact. Also, the size of the package matters a lot because big packaging are responsible for more food waste. Finally, reusable packaging helps to reduce plastic pollution and carbon impact. So why not to shift back to the using very long ago? So during the last century, the population of the world has grown from 2 billion to 8 billion. And this four-fold increase in the population is happening at a huge environmental cost. So our future survival depends on a living planet and our ability to create nature-positive economy, one that operates within the planetary boundaries and helps us to reverse nature loss and overcome climate crisis. By using circular food system, we will be able to regenerate nature. In a circular economy, land dedicated to material sourcing will be increasingly focused on renewable resources rather than extraction of materials, which will increasingly remain in circulation. By keeping products and materials in use, less land is required for sourcing virgin raw materials. If we keep materials in circulation after use, more and more land can be returned to nature and rebuilding can happen. Thanks for listening and see you again soon.